Hello, my name is Liz, and welcome to the Tiny Treatery.
I got a new camera, so the picture and audio in this video is a little weird. I'm still figuring out how to use it. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Bye.
And today,
Also, happy birthday. You know who you are. Welcome to your 24 era.
I'm going to be trying for the first time to use my Russian piping tips, which look like this and have a bunch of weird designs that help you make cute little flower bud things very easily, hopefully. So I'm going to be making a relatively small batch of vanilla cupcakes. The original recipe is for like 24 and I divided it by about 3, so I should have like 8 or 9. And the reason I'm doing like 8 or 9 instead of like 1 or 2, which is what I would do if I were making them just for myself, is that I'm going to be giving a little box of them to my personal trainer because I've been hitting the gym. Look at these gains. Just kidding. And she's gonna be leaving the gym that I go to in the next week, so I wanted to make her a little treat. So I'll be making vanilla cupcakes with a mint chocolate ganache center because she told me at the very beginning of training when I told her that I baked that she likes mint chocolate. So that is the information I have to go on what kind of stuff she likes. Vanilla cupcakes, mint chocolate ganache center, and I'm making 8 or 9 of them so I can get practice with my Russian piping tips. I'll show the recipe on screen now, both with the original yield and the tiny yield, and meet you in the kitchen. Welcome to the kitchen. So this recipe consists of flour, sugar, baking powder, salt, milk, vegetable oil, vanilla, egg, and water. First things first, let's get measuring. Okay, because this recipe uses oil instead of butter, it's going to be really easy to mix up the batter because I don't have to cream the butter and the sugar and then add in the wet ingredients and then add in the dry ingredients. I just have to whisk together the dry ingredients, which in this case is the flour, the sugar, the baking powder, and the salt, and then mix together the milk, egg, vanilla, and oil, and pour it into the dry ingredients, mix until smooth, and then also slowly add in the water at the end and then mix that till smooth. I don't really know why that's a part of it, but it is. So then, once I have the batter, I will pour it into the cupcake tins. I think I'm gonna have more than 6 cupcakes, but I only have this one pan. So I'm either gonna have to make 2 batches, or I will just precariously place some bare cupcake tins on a flat baking sheet and see what happens. Let's make some cupcakes. I guess I ended up with 10 cupcakes. 6 of them are cooling in the fridge right now, and the remaining 4 are finishing baking in the oven. So the next thing I have to do is make the mint chocolate ganache. But first, alright, egg consumed, and I will now start heating up water for the double boiler for the ganache. So I'll be using Andy's mince. I don't know if this is gonna like work out in the ganache, but I'm just gonna make it work, you know? I'm gonna melt it up, add some cream to it, get it to a consistency that seems like it'll make sense, and just kind of hope for the best and wing it, you know? I don't really care that much. I think it'll be fine. So I've unwrapped half the box of Andy's -1, because I ate one. Oh, wow. These are melting real quick. All right. Technology? Technology? I'm sure it doesn't look very cute in the frame to see this, but I'm trying to get you 2 angles at once, baby. This is like a professional production now. I just realized this is not this is not how you make ganache. You don't use a double boiler. You heat the cream up and then put in the chocolate directly in the pot. Okay, well that's okay. We can make this work. Have my adorable little milk pot. Put some cream in it. I'm just guessing. I don't care. And I'm supposed to not let it boil, but stir it up so that it's, you know, hot and thick. Let's put this chocolate in and see what happens. I don't really know what I'm doing if it's not obvious. Oh no. Emergency. Some burning chocolate on the stove because I'm a mess. Ugh. Alright, so I have something here. It does seem thin, but I feel like maybe as it cools it might set a little more. I don't know, but I used all the Andes, so I'm out of that. And my next option would be to just put more milk chocolate in from my Candy Melts jar. We're gonna go with it, and I'm gonna let it cool a little, and the next thing you'll see will be me filling the cupcakes. Guess what day it is? It's the day before. So you know what that means? Buttercream time, because I hate doing it, so I always do it first. Weigh the butter. I'm gonna do about 1.5 sticks because Russian piping tips, I think, tend to be very greedy with how much icing they require to do the designs that they are. So this might be overkill, but that's okay. Icing can be saved in the fridge or freezer for even longer. Cream the butter! Scrape it, since it's all stuck to the sides, and keep creaming. You want it to be real pale and fluffy. And be sure to start with room temperature butter. Then the weight that the butter was, mine was 169 grams. Put that many grams of powdered sugar in the bowl. I know that me going over this every time I make frosting is redundant for the true fans, and I'm sorry for that, but maybe if it becomes redundant enough, you'll have it memorized, and then you can just make buttercream at the drop of a hat without even having to look it up. I always spill a little. Then a little bit of salt to cut the sweetness. Honestly, I skip this half the time. I don't really care, and I don't measure it. I just do a tiny bit. And then some vanilla for flavoring. I also never measure this. I kind of just do what my heart wants, so sorry for the particular people out there, but nobody's ever told me my icing is nasty, so either everybody is lying to me or it doesn't really matter that much. That's about just over a teaspoon because it's 6 grams for 1.5 sticks of butter. Is that normal? I don't know. Who cares? Anyway, more importantly, the weight of the butter that you put the powdered sugar in, do it again. 169 in my case, so you want twice as much powdered sugar as butter. At least that's what I do, and it always works, so I like that it's easy to remember. And measuring out powdered sugar with a measuring cup is hell on earth, and I will never do it again if I can avoid it. So weighing is the way to go, baby! Whose idea was it to package powdered sugar, the messiest substance on earth, in the most impossible, unreusable, floppy container of all time? Wow, I did so well. So now I have very stiff, could use some smoothing buttercream. And if for some reason this is the consistency you want, then here you go. But I think I'm gonna want mine a little smoother and thinner, but only a little, because I want it pretty stiff for the sake of the flowers and the Russian piping tip. But I do want it to be thinned out a little. Thin out with cream. Usually I have heavy cream. I bought this for something and didn't use it, so this is what I have. You can use milk even. It's really not that serious. And I don't measure this either because I am unhinged. Just do what feels right. Err on the side of caution though, because you can always add more. But if you thin it out too much, it's not the end of the world, just add more powdered sugar. To be TBH honest, might have thinned it out a little too much, but we'll see how it works. And if it doesn't work, I will cancel the whole video and delete my channel. Just kidding, I'll just add some powdered sugar. Taste test. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is test all of the Russian piping tips I have, see what they all do, and then select the ones that I want for the actual cupcake decorating. Okay, I don't really know how this is gonna look because I can see myself in a little viewfinder, but it's really tiny, so I didn't feel like setting it up on the tripod because I'm only gonna say one small thing and then we're gonna get to the decorating. So, I have filled piping bags here to decorate the cupcakes, and I'm gonna do two designs basically. So this pink icing just has a regular petal tip on it, and I'm just gonna do like rose cupcakes for that because I've done it before, and I have confidence I can get a few of those to look good, so I don't want all my cupcakes to be a flop, you know? And then I have two different Russian piping tips here that are pretty similar. They have like petals on the outside and then kind of like a middle stameny part in the middle, whatever, I don't know flower anatomy. But both of these are filled with like a purple frosting, but in the center I put some yellow. So I'm kind of hoping that like once I get deeper into the bag, the outside will be purple petals and then the middle will be yellow, like a real flower. But I don't know if that's gonna work. And then this green one just has a leaf tip on it to add leaves into the gap. That's mostly for these, but I might add some leaves onto the pink ones. I don't know, we'll see. Let's get decorating. Time for the taste test. Yeah. Reverting back to my iPhone, this new camera is a little weird. I don't know how I feel about it. Still working out the kinks. Anyway, we made it to the end. We had a lot of trials and tribulations along the way. I had that issue with the ganache bag, the tip being cut too thick and it pouring out all over the place, and then me having to put it in another bag. And then we had two poppages on the buttercream bags, one with the pink and then one when the Russian tip came out. Those bags came with the Russian piping tips and they're very cheap and terrible, but they're all I have right now, so I had no choice but to use them, and we survived, we made it, but it was not as pleasant as it would have been if I had quality bags. As far as the experience went of the piping, the pink rose ones, I mean there's only 4, but I think some of them look better than others, but at least I'm like familiar with that technique. I could stand to improve probably pretty significantly, but I at least knew what I was doing when I went in with that one. The Russian ones, however, it took me a while to kind of figure out the technique, and then by the time I figured it out, my icing had warmed up from being in my hand, and then it didn't want to work as well. So like this is the first one that I did. I don't know how well you can see it, but like there's some that are like really tall and some that are short, and I don't know, maybe you can make them really tall if you like that look, but I kind of like the mid-size look. But I was thinking that I needed to like squeeze and keep pulling, but really I figured out in the later ones, once the icing is like a good consistency, because I think they were a little too stiff here, you just like squeeze and like raise it slightly, but then just stop the pressure and pull it off, and you'll have your little bud. But I was like, I think I was squeezing and then like slowly releasing the pressure as I was going up, and then it was just coming with the tip. It was not working. So you have to just like squeeze and let it build upon itself kind of naturally, and then stop, pull away. Squeeze, stop, pull away, instead of the gentle release. Yeah, especially with the Russian ones, I think some for sure look better than others, but that's because I was learning, and maybe next time when I use these, it'll all work out and they'll all be beautiful, maybe. I'm really excited that the thing with the purple and yellow worked. It didn't work on all of them, but some of them it worked really nicely. So anyway, I guess it's time to get to the taste test. I do have one here that I didn't have frosting for, and I'm very tempted to try this one, but I feel like that's like not the full experience, so I have to dismantle my bouquet and eat one of these. Since I'm giving some of these to my personal trainer, I'm obviously gonna eat an ugly one, and I think this is the ugliest one. There's no chance I would put this in the box, so this is the one I'm gonna eat. I hope this ganache thing like worked out, because that would be like a disaster if it tastes terrible after all this work I put into the art of it all. I probably should have just made plain vanilla cupcakes. I don't know why I get so ambitious all the time. I always think I gotta do something unique and different. Like, just like calm down, make some vanilla cupcakes. It's like fine. Whatever. I take back what I said 2 seconds ago. Being ambitious is the way to go, and I'm really glad I filled these with something, because it really adds something. I'm a genius and a prodigy. If you don't like mint chocolate or mint, you would hate these, obviously. And also you would hate me, because mint is like a huge part of my identity. I love chewing gum, love being minty fresh, love that cool burn in the throat. It's everything to me. So if you don't like mint, please dislike my video and start some beef with me in the comments. I was kind of thinking that maybe the cupcake would be like weird because it was oil instead of butter. And I know that people who are like real bakers with a lot more experience than me have like very strong opinions. Although honestly, I have not really seen many people in the oil fandom, but I definitely am familiar with the people in the butter fandom. They're kind of like intense. This might have been a little better cake if it was butter, but I honestly don't know enough to tell the difference, so it's fine. And does it really matter? Because the ganache is the star of the show, so it's okay. I will say they're very like heavy. Like, oh my god, I am bogged down. Man, honestly, I'm not even sure if they were good or not. They're really sweet. So I might have overdone it with the ganache and all of that. I don't know, I can't decide. It's exciting to bite into, but that cupcake was hard to eat. I'm very full right now. But they look good, so I would consider it a success. Overall thoughts. Standard vanilla cupcake. Ganache is fun to bite into, but maybe a little much. Also, a lot of frosting, because of the nature of these designs, requires you use a lot of frosting, so it's pretty sweet, and one cupcake is plenty. But I'm very excited about them because the product exemplifies a bunch of different skills. Baking a cupcake, making ganache, filling a cupcake, making frosting, dyeing frosting, decorating cupcakes. So that's like a lot of talent in one person, if you ask me. Just kidding, kind of. Anyway, thanks for watching, and subscribe for more baking adventures.